There are a few interesting reasons this happens, and I'd love to talk about them, but it takes a little bit more than just a comment can do, so let's go. So one of the most obvious factors here is indigenous people, right? A lot of times when we talk about old buildings and structures in the Americas, we tend to just not talk about indigenous ones, which, like, not even to get into the miracle architecture of South and Central America, because in North America there are locations like Cahokia, which are so large we thought they were mountains, but then here in the Mojave and the other American Southwest deserts, the ecological and topographical conditions were so extreme that permanent settlements didn't really make that much sense. Not in the same way that nomadic migration did. And that was reflected in the architecture that was built, because not only was it impermanent, it was made to decay. Which gets into the other factor, the environment, geography, ecology, that stuff, right? Taking Utah for an example, it's about twice the size of Ireland as far as land area is concerned, and it's totally landlocked with a few rivers and lakes, but not very much rainfall. It is a desert. This is why, even though it was owned by the Spanish for hundreds of years and the Mexicans for a while after that, there really weren't permanent settlements put in here until the third major factor, the railroad. Now, the railroad's important because it's going to cause the California gold rush, which is going to lead into the rest of the boom towns, which are going to kind of define the West. And this westward expansion is going to bring with it the LDS Church. So by the time you hit about the mid-1800s, you have lots of places like Mesquite and Las Vegas, lush riparian oases in the desert that were made fertile by indigenous stewardship in an otherwise remote and inhospitable place, suddenly made accessible to a bunch of zealotous cultists who were basically exiled there to die only to find out it was Zion. The only problem was they had to eliminate the very inconvenient indigenous people who lived there, both physically and existentially, mind you, because they tried to rewrite the Native Americans as characters in their little fantasy book, literally erasing indigenous reality and rewriting in something that made them feel better. But then also physically destroying as many artifacts and anything they could find that they could find. So it's not like there aren't older structures or buildings in the Americas. It's that so much has been destroyed, forgotten, and rewritten.